Stanislav, what are the options for startuppers to get the immigrant visa? In other words, to get the green cards for establishing a startup and starting it successfully or not, Lord knows, but what are those options? Today, guys, we're going to be discussing this very important topic, and at the end of this video, you will be able to learn how to get a free evaluation of your case if you want to bring your startup here in the US. Let's go! Hello, my dear friends. My name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a licensed business immigration and corporate attorney in Miami, Florida. In today's video, we are discussing a very important topic of bringing a startup in the US and getting the immigrant visa to get the green card. And let's take a step back and remember what's the difference between immigrant visas and non-immigrant visas. Non-immigrant visas are getting you the opportunity to come here in the US and start your business or do something, work somewhere, start the endeavor, and be here temporary. For example, for 1 year, for 3 years, for 5 years, for 7 years, depending on the type of visa. And the non-immigrant visas do not lead automatically to the green card. And the immigrant visas, on the other hand, they give you the opportunity to get the residency, meaning the green card. And after 5 years of getting your green card approved, you will be able to file for the US citizenship and get the blue passport. That's the fundamental difference. What's the actual difference in labeling those visas? Any visa that starts with EB, employment based, and there are 5 categories of these visas, they mean you will get a green card and your entire family will also get a green card. Who is your family? You, your spouse, and the kids under 21 years old who are not married. On the other hand, once you get the non-immigrant visa approved, you will get the visa for the entire family. And different visas have different meanings for your spouses. For some visas they can work, for some they cannot work. But today's video is not about that. We are talking about specifically, if you want to bring the startup here, what type of visas will be available to you. And I'm going to discuss 3 types of visas. Number 1 is EB-1A, a talent visa. Number 2 is EB-1C, international manager. And number 3, EB-2 NIW. That's where you propose a project, an endeavor in the national interest of the United States of America. And by the way, guys, the fundamental videos about each of those visas are on my channel. So if you go in the search box and look for those visas, you'll find a lot of in-depth videos to understand more the criteria behind those visas. So today I'm just going to give you the concepts and you need to do the research yourself. And by the way, guys, smash that like button if you like my content, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel not to miss the 2 videos that I release on a regular basis a week. So visa number 1, EB-1A. I know that visa is called talented visa or talent visa or visa for talents, for extraordinary people. That sounds a little bit daunting, and a lot of you like, oh my God, Stanislav, I'm not talented, I'm just doing my thing. You just cannot assess yourself objectively. You just cannot do this because you don't know how those criteria apply to you. And the USCIS has the measure of your talent. Those are the 10 criteria. And for example, awards, judging the work of other professionals, the press about you, your own articles, contribution in the field, and the such. And again, today's video is not about the in-depth criteria, but to give you the idea. And a lot of business people, startuppers, innovators, you guys have at least 3-4 criteria without you knowing it. And that's how we measure whether you can get approved with EB-1A visa. We need to satisfy 3 criteria by law, but I want to have 6. Okay, I want to see the 6 criteria, and most of the petitions that we work on, when you work with my team for 5 months, getting the evidentiary base, describing your documents, that's where we add sometimes 3, sometimes 4 additional criteria, and we provide you with all the resources so you could get that done successfully. So that's the basics for EB-1A, but you want to ask, Stanislav, what does it have to do with the startup? Like, what's going on? We're talking about startups today. Right, so EB-1A is the visa where we have to prove that you're going to be beneficial to the US through continuing of doing the same type of work you've been doing before. So basically applying your talent here in the US. So your startup is going to be satisfying this particular part of this immigrant visa. And by the way, when I say visa, EB-1A visa, I mean the green card, okay? Just the same way I explained in the beginning. So that will be the continuation of your career. So we have to prove 3, we want 6 criteria, and for benefit to the US, your startup comes into play. That's the visa number 1. And the timing for this visa, and guys, I'm talking about my company, about my team. I don't know how other attorneys work. My clients say we're the best, so we don't look at others, okay? We look how can we become better based on the feedback coming from you. From the day you start working with my team on your petition, EB-1A, in about a year and a half, maybe a little less, a year and 3 months, you will be able to come to the US with a green card. Option number 2, EB-1C. That one has a completely different set of criteria. First of all, you must have a company somewhere outside of the US. Usually you are the owner and the employee of this company, and usually you are CEO or the chief director or the president. Call yourself whatever, you're the one to observe and control and direct the whole company. And I want you to have 15 plus employees under your control, out of which 3 to 4 are managers. So you manage the managers, and managers manage other employees. If you have the structure like that, then your startup in the US must be in existence for at least a year and have about 8 employees working in it. And you want to say, Stanislav, well, it doesn't sound like startup, 8 people working in a company. That's like established company moving on and developing. It's true if you want to look at it from that perspective, but a lot of startups that have funding, that have money, they are able to get to this level within a year. If that's the case, we can request the immigration services to transfer you from your company outside of the US to the company in the US to manage that startup, continuing, developing, and growing it. And you will be able to get the green card. And the timing for this visa is about the same as EB-1A. All right, that's a year and a half plus minus. Option number 3, EB-2 NIW. So this particular visa requires you to have either bachelor's degree plus 5 years experience in that direction, in that specialty. Usually it's a business degree when we're talking about startups. Sometimes it could be a STEM degree, like IT, engineering, architecture, doctors and stuff like that. So your startup is going to be with the technology, with innovation, with bringing some research and stuff like that, okay? Or you could have master's degree, no requirement for the amount of years to get the experience. Or if you don't have the education, and I have a lot of cases like that when we deal with businessmen. And that's clear, right? If you graduate high school and you have a business idea, you started and you're successful with it, then you don't need education, right? But we can prove the exceptional ability. Exceptional abilities also consist of 6 criteria. There's the 7th one, the alternative criteria. We need to prove 3. Again, not going to go deep in those criteria, but trust me, almost every businessman, investor, entrepreneur may satisfy those criteria. The main thing here that your startup must have an idea that solves some problem here in the US or globally. And the solution of that problem is a national importance to the US government. A lot of STEM startups, IT platforms, financial platforms, or some kind of medical equipment, or you're bringing some technology, patents here, all those usually count as a national interest. So if we have that, this is EB-2 NIW, and the timing for this visa is a little longer than the other two because it's the second category, so it has some backlog with the visa issues. As of today, June, July 2024, we have about 1 year and 4 months backlog for this visa, meaning that you will be able to come here in about 2.5 years after you start doing your petition. All right, guys, so now, Stanislav, how do I actually know, or what's the option for me, for you to take a look at my facts and let me know if I have a potential in the case? So here where the free evaluation comes into play. If you go down below this video, you will find 3 different links for talent visa, for business visa, and for EB-2 NIW national interest waiver. Fill out the one that appeals the most to you, or if 2 or more appeal to you, do all of them, okay? It will take me about 2 days to analyze them and come back to you with initial analysis, which visa is the best, which criteria we satisfy, which we don't yet, and I will let you know if you have a potential in your case. And if you do, I will invite you to the complex immigration planning where I, with my team, will build the written strategy for your case. Guys, smash that like button, comment, ask questions. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube, my Instagram, my TikTok. Only the best content about those visas over there. My name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.